have some pie.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, if you're just tuning in, we're here at the home of Teresa Klein.
Thank you.
And she just baked some delicious lemon meringue pie. And here we've got also candidate for district attorney, Mark Skurka, and his lovely family, Zita and Samantha. So we'll begin to taste this lovely looking, I mean it's beautiful looking lemon meringue pie.
Hopefully it'll taste as good as it looks.
So when we will begin doing this, Mark, can you tell us a little bit, are you board certified?
Yeah, I'm the only candidate in this race that's board certified in criminal law, and I've been board certified since 1993. That tells people that I'm very much a student of the law and the criminal law, because I've taken special testing and qualifications to become board certified in criminal law.
And that is a very good qualification, I believe. And so can you also tell us a little bit about your cases? What, big cases were you involved in? What did you do?
Well, most people remember some of the cases I've tried. In 23 years, I've tried probably over 100 jury trials. But some of the ones that come to mind are the UNI restaurant killing, where Martin Guerrilla was sentenced to death after killing the two folks at the UNI restaurant. Also one I tried was a Selena case with Carlos Valdez. I was part of the prosecution team on that case, where Yolanda Saldivar was convicted and got a life sentence. And most recently, the most recent case I had before I had to leave the DA's office was the Stuart Alexander case, where Lieutenant Stuart Alexander was run over by a young man while he was trying to escape from the police officers. Lieutenant Alexander was trying to put the spike strips to stop this man, and he ended up getting run over by him and killed. And that was my last conviction at the district attorney's office. So those are some of the cases I've tried that people remember. But you know, Rose, and you know this as a lawyer at the courthouse, so many cases go on that the media doesn't cover every single case. And I've been trying murder cases for 20 years, and capital murder cases, and child abuse cases. And that gives me, I think, some advantage in my qualifications, because I've tried all those kind of cases. I can go into court and try any major case there is. And Grant Jones, when he was a district attorney, and Carlos Valdez entrusted me with those cases ever since I've been at the district attorney's office.
That's very impressive. And Mark, there's a lot of people, I believe, in the audience who might not know just exactly what are the duties and responsibilities of a district attorney.
Well, the main thing people need to realize is the DA's office is really a nonpartisan position. It really doesn't need to have party labels attached to it, because you serve all the people in Nueces County. And it really doesn't matter what side of town, what political affiliation, anything like that. What a district attorney's office, district attorney should do by law, the law says this: the district attorney does not seek convictions, he seeks justice. And that's what's important in that. Now, there's no doubt with crime in our community, you have to be tough on crime, and you expect the DA to be tough on crime on those people who just cannot conform their behavior to society's standards. So you have to have that mix of toughness. But on the other hand, you're not there to seek convictions, you're there to seek justice. Sometimes justice doesn't mean a life sentence for somebody. Sometimes it means to give them a chance at rehabilitation, like for example, somebody, a first-time offender or a young kid, maybe that made a mistake or did something wrong. Well, there's a lot of rehabilitation programs that are available by putting them on probation to do that. And the thing that sets me apart from my opponent, I've had 23.5 years doing that. And sometimes you need that experience to make those good choices, to make good decisions and have the good judgment to punish when it's necessary and offer rehabilitation when it's necessary. And I have that experience.
Wow.
Mark, I'm wondering, what programs have you instituted? What are some of the things you've been most proud of in those 23 years?
There's been so many of them, Teresa. I can tell the audience what I've done lately. People might recall these no refusal weekends. What happened was I learned that other DA's offices and police enforcement agencies have come up with this way to help get DWIs off the street. Drunk drivers is a plague in our community and every other community across the country. Well, in the old days, what would happen is people would just refuse to take a breath test, and they'd lose their license for 6 months. Well, it turns out when people got the word on that, whenever they got pulled over for DWI, they just refused the breath test. And that kept the police and the prosecution from having the good evidence, scientific evidence, to go into court and win those cases. Well, I started a program along with the Corpus Christi Police Department to try to get search warrants for blood. Now that doesn't mean you just indiscriminately draw blood from every person in the rest of our DWI, but what we do is I help integrate some forms that the patrolman could actually fill out to go to a judge and get a search warrant and say, Judge, I think this guy was driving drunk because of X, Y, and Z. Go to the judge, ask for a warrant, and then we hired phlebotomists through the DA's office that would be there on these key weekends like Labor Day weekend, spring break, those holiday weekends, the heavy times. And then when the officers came in there and the person refused a breath test, boom, we could get a search warrant, we'd have a judge, we'd have a phlebotomist to draw the blood, and it has resulted in a huge change.
Wow.
Where before in the city of Corpus Christi, probably 75 to 80% of the people refuse their breath test. Now, faced with giving blood or breath, they're giving us a sample all the time, either breath or blood. Those numbers are reversed, and now we get blood or breath samples in almost 95 to 100% of the cases. That means better work for the, easier work for the police department to get that scientific evidence, better opportunities for the district attorney's office to secure a conviction, and more importantly, the community is protected from these people, because it's not just going to be the cop saying this and the other person saying this. Now we'll have scientific evidence to go into court. That makes it easier for juries to make a decision too. So it's a win-win situation for all involved. And I'm real happy to have been involved in that with the help of the different law enforcement agencies. It's come around really well.
Right, and I want to remind everybody once again that early voting, it begins October the 18th through the 29th. I would really like to see everyone go out to the polls during that period of time. You don't wait till November the 2nd, because, and the good thing about voting early is you can vote anywhere in the county. So you don't have to vote in your specific polling location. You can vote just about anywhere. You're near the mall. If you're near the mall, there's a place there.
Del Mar College has a great place to go and do early voting. Very convenient. You can park very close to the polling place, walk right in, and it is a, it's a quick voting experience.
That's right, it is. And in terms of, and Mark, I just want the audience to kind of get a feel for the number of years and all the experience you have. I mean, you have a tremendous amount of experience. And so in terms of, let's measure, how many cases have you tried?
Well, probably over 100 cases I've tried. But as both a trial lawyer, a line prosecutor, and a supervisor, I've been involved in so many. Tried myself probably around 100, assisted other people, had other lawyers assist me. I usually use it as a training ground. Whenever I try a big case, I get one of the other prosecutors to sit with me so they can learn. So in addition to trying the case myself, I'm teaching the other young lawyers how to try cases. Also, I'm proud of being asked by the police department to come lecture to them. I talk to them about search and seizure laws, how to testify in court. Whenever the legislature meets every 2 years after they come up with the new laws, I have sessions with all the law enforcement agencies where they can come and learn about those changes to the law. So the law is an ever-changing thing, so it's nice to stay up to date on that thing. And of course, being board certified helps a lot, because you have to keep up on those things, and not just have that information, but share it with the law enforcement agencies.
And I know you're a very dedicated attorney for the district attorney's office, and you've been there a number of years. And the only people I can think of in this room that can testify to that is your wife and your daughter. Did he put a lot of hours in?
Yes, he does. Oh yes, long weekends. He'll come home late from the office. We get supper late, but
I'm glad
he's always
very dedicated, right? So yes,
Well,
definitely.
it means a lot to have my family behind me, because they know how important the work is to me, and they know when they say I'm in trial, they know I'm not just in a quote trial. I'm there to help people, victims of crime, and that's what it all means to me. And they see me out in the community for the last 23 years. We'll be at a restaurant or a store, and somebody will come up to them or me and say, "Remember me? You tried the case where somebody hurt my family member or did something," and you can tell the relief on those people's face and the thanks they have. And it's nice to have two people like these folks, my wife and daughter. My wife is Zita Garza Skurka, and I've been married for almost 20 years now. My daughter's about 16 years old, and they've seen me dedicate my life to this job, and I want to continue dedicating my legal career to that, because that's all I've done, Rose. I've never worked in private practice. It's my first job out of law school, and I've dedicated my life to helping the community and protect them from crime. And luckily I have these two anchors at home to keep me straight and keep me on the right path there too.
So I want to emphasize the experience that you have. You've got a lot of experience. You've got dedication. Seems like you've done training, which is awesome.
Sure.
You know, which is also goes with the territory, but also very big in the management of the office. And as long as I know you know, in the district attorney's office, and you were involved in the management of it, everything seemed to go very smoothly. The assistant district attorneys respected you. You did a wonderful job. Everything. I've never heard any complaints. So can you tell us a little bit about the managerial aspects of the district attorney's office?
Well, again, that's one of the key parts. As district attorney, you have to wear several hats. One of the hats is being a trial lawyer, going in and try the most important cases in this community. Another part is the administration part, writing budgets, asking for grants, writing grants, administering and looking over personnel, 65 people. That's an awesome responsibility to take care of 40 attorneys and 25 support staff, dealing with the commissioners. All that stuff is so important, and I wish I could say it wasn't a big part of the job, but it is a big part of the job, because you have to make wise decisions in personnel moves, in management moves, and keeping that office running and being progressive. I've been lucky enough to do that. I remember I was able to secure some funding in order to get some equipment for the office, the Elmo projectors, where we have the information, the computers that blow up the pictures into the courtroom. That stuff was stuff that I began some years ago, trying to get grants for that stuff. The electronic process is always growing. You're always learning to do more in the courtroom. And it's a thing that you need to dedicate yourself. So you have to be on the cutting edge of the law and electronics and management. It's a lot of different hats. But the bottom line, it boils down to people. And that means protecting the community, be tough on crime, but be reasonable, be fair to everybody that comes in front of you. You can't have knee-jerk reactions and say, well, I'm always going to do this or I'm always going to do that. Every case is unique on its own, and you got to be open-minded and reasonable to listen to that and do what's best for the community. Politics notwithstanding.
Right.
It has no place, that DA's office has no place for politics, and it's disheartening to see that sometimes that plays a part in that office right now, and some of the decisions that have been made are not decisions I probably would have done, and I hope the voters will remember that I have the experience, the qualifications to run that office and try the biggest cases to protect this community.
That's right, Mark, and I just want to remind everybody that please go out there and vote for the best district attorney on the ballot, who is Mark Skurka. I know that he's going to do a terrific job for us. So everybody get out there, vote for our Democratic candidate, Mark Skurka, for district attorney. And I want to thank Teresa Klein for having us once again here in our kitchen, having this wonderful, delicious
And how was it?
Great.
It was amazing.
And I want to thank,
Great
last but not least, Zita and Samantha for coming out. And thank you so much for helping your dad. You're doing a wonderful job block walking and phone banking. Samantha, you were at the headquarters today, weren't you?
I was, yes ma'am. Phone banking from 9 a.m. until a few minutes ago.
And that's what it's going to take to get your dad to win, and I'm sure he will. So we're just going to ask everybody once again, don't forget to vote. Vote early, October 18th to the 29th. And thank you and we'll see you again in our next edition of Kitchen Politics.